But really, before we get into eating Indian food and binge watching TV, we are actually going to start another project. Surprise, surprise. I think that's probably really why we canceled reservations, is because we both really want to just get started on this project. So for a very long time, I have been mentioning how we need to make our garage into a workshop, and we're finally doing it. I think we finally hit like the point where we're like, yeah, we're not doing this anymore. We're not doing any more projects to our house, and we're not doing any more projects for anyone else until this gets organized, because it is so hard to find everything we need in our garage with how it is. So let me show you the garage currently, and then let me tell you exactly what we're going to be doing to it. Okay, so here she is, our very messy, unorganized garage. That gives me the worst anxiety. Talk about what all needs to happen. First is we need to clean and organize it and throw out a bunch of stuff, which is what we're gonna do tonight. And then we are gonna move everything that is over here to this side of the garage so we can start building cabinets. And then we're gonna be getting rid of these cabinets so then we can start building cabinets for this back wall. So this whole back wall is going to be cabinets, and then we will have a little workbench here, and above it we will have storage for wood. And then over here we are gonna move all of this down to our shed and then have a spot to put our bikes. So I'm gonna show you a mood board of exactly what I'm thinking. So everything is taped out and we got the measurements we need. This is kind of just like a rough draft of what we're going for. So last night we taped everything out and measured so that today we can officially start on the cabinets. I will say these cabinets are going to be a little rougher or not as high end as the cabinets that Noah normally builds for our flips or for like our kitchen. We cheaped out a little bit on material, and we're going to cut a few corners just to save money because they are going to be in the garage. But I will try to walk you through this as much as possible and explain everything as we go. Okay, so time to start building cabinets. We got 3/4 inch plywood for the case parts for our cabinets. Noah measured out where the toe kick was going to be and then cut out that small little square, which is now the toe kick. This is going to be a pretty big cabinet, so he cut 3 different pieces of plywood for the top, the bottom, and a shelf for the center. Then we used our Craig tool to create these pocket holes, which will allow us to connect all the cabinets together. Both the bottom, the top, and the center shelf all receive pocket holes. Then we started assembling using pocket screws, and this is what the final cabinet, or at least the box of the cabinet, looks like. Like I said, it's a pretty big cabinet, giving us room to be able to fit our shop vac in the large center and put our outdoor cushions up top. These cabinets still have a long way to go. We're going to add some stretcher pieces to the back to make them more stable. Then we'll have to add face frames and then the doors. Here they are standing upright, and our goal tomorrow is to build the lower cabinets. All right, so Noah is in the garage working. He's the man. He's about to crank out some pocket holes on these upper cabinets. And then he went ahead and he notched out down here, because you can see there's like a little bit of a lip right here that it needs to sit on. And then he attached a stretcher there and up top. And that just creates more support for these larger cabinets. So the goal tonight is going to be to get these maybe attached to the wall and then also get these uppers built. Got the 2 uppers built. You can see he just attached everything with these pocket holes to build the box. And then inside you can see there's a stretcher down here that he put on, and here. So what that is it's just a piece of wood that goes on the back of the cabinet. Normally you would have a back to the cabinet, but because these are just going to be in our garage, we don't need a back. So you just do the stretchers for support. And you can see on the back, he just attached it with the pocket holes On this side, because this one's actually going to be attached to this cabinet, he didn't need to do pocket holes because you won't be able to see that. So the goal tomorrow is going to be to start building our lower cabinets. Okay, so we are back in the garage. Noah has been cranking away. I just haven't really been posting about it, but he got the cabinets hung, so they're officially on the walls. As I mentioned before, this centerpiece here is actually going to be one that is on wheels and it pulls out. So he has that put together over there. And right now he is working on face frames. You want to say hi, Noah? So one face frame down, many more to go. So what a face frame is it just goes right over our cabinet boxes and it gives it that finished look. The way that we'll attach that is with some wood glue on the back of this, and then we will nail it up there. We are going to be doing overlay doors. So the hinges will go here, and then the doors themselves are going to go a little bit over onto the face frame. Sometimes there's inset doors, like our kitchen is inset doors. So the doors themselves actually go inside the face frame. Either looks really good, but for this project, and it's just easier to do overlay doors. Okay, so let's learn some wood shop vocabulary, shall we, Noah? These are called stiles, and then these are called rails. And we have pocket holes on all of the rails. So here, and also up top and at the bottom down here. So that's how they attach to the stiles. And then we just put some wood glue here, use the pocket hole, and then we clamp it ahead of time just so it is flush. And that's how you build a face frame. So we're gonna have one door up top and one down here. Okay, so face frames are on. You can see right here, like this one, this is gonna be a drawer, and then we're gonna have two doors that are down here. And then this system is wall control. That is gonna be on this wall right here, right above the butcher block. And then this center section here is gonna be a little logo of our last name. This will have to do for now. At least we can park a car in here though, for now at least. Today, Noah sanded the doors. They're officially done. I will walk you through how he built these when we get back from our trip. And honestly, next week I'll be able to prime those and paint them. And then things are gonna start to move along pretty quickly. We got the hardware in. I will then be able to paint the rest of the walls in here. I was just waiting for all that sawdust to be done. Gonna paint this area and yeah, stain some butcher block, put up our wall control and our sign. So it's getting there. So last night I started painting the cabinets with a primer. I am using Kills, and it's just a gray primer because I'm doing a dark green on the cabinets. This is just gonna be easier to cover than a white. The reason I'm using Kills is because some of this wood does have some knots in it. We use crappy wood just for these two center pieces. So they actually aren't all like that, but it will just take out any of those knots. Like you can see like here are some. So I'm gonna go through, patch a few more nail holes that I noticed once I started painting, and then I'm gonna put another coat of primer on these and work on the doors. So the doors are done, and then I have a few laid out because I need to spray these tonight. So these are the backs of the doors. I'm gonna spray the backs, then flip them over after they've dried for 2 hours, and then do the fronts. Okay, so for spraying the cabinets, I'm gonna be using my Wagner spray gun. It just comes in two separate pieces. I just have to assemble it, which is oh so easy. Fill it up with some paint. I'm gonna dilute it with a little bit of water so it's easier to spray, and get started. Okay, one round done. So I did the fronts and the backs. The primer just lays really flat, so that was nice. I'm gonna go ahead and get these up and then do the second batch of doors. I always start with the backs first, just because if the consistency of the paint isn't awesome, then I can adjust it. And if it doesn't look that great on the doors, it was only on the backs. So start on the backs, and then after it dries for 2 hours, flip it over and then do the fronts. All right, it's paint day for the cabinets. I'm nervous, but super excited. I ended up getting some more plastic so I can lay all of them out and just spray them at one time. I was sick of doing it in batches. It was taking forever. So they've been primed. I'm going to start with spraying the backs of them. They're probably going to need 2 coats. So 2 coats on the back and then 2 coats on the front. And then trying to let them dry in between as much as possible, because if you rush that process, they're going to chip. They need a cure. So let's go. All right, finally, time to paint the cabinets. They're primed and ready to go. I am using this Behr paint that is for cabinets and trim. And this is the color that you guys picked. It's like a brownish, greenish gray. I think it's gonna look awesome. And then for the spraying, I'm gonna be using the detail nozzle from Wagner Sprayer. This is what they recommend when you're spraying cabinets. So this will give us a nice finish. So this is what it looks like right after it's sprayed. You can see it kind of looks like a little bit of bubbly, but that will all settle. So let me show you one that's from like one of the first ones I sprayed. So you can see it just smooths itself out, self-levels, giving it a super pretty finish. Again, I'm gonna let these dry for a decent amount of time before I flip them over and then do the fronts. Round 2, I'm gonna do the fronts of the cabinets, but I'm wearing a respirator this time because my boogers were green and not like a normal green, like this color green. So yeah, we don't want to breathe that in. Here we go. Cranked through this garage last night. So I pulled in some reinforcements and Noah helped me paint the cabinets themselves, and the doors are done. They dried overnight. They look freaking perfect. So that was my first time using Behr's trim and cabinet paint. It's self-leveling, so I didn't have to mix any water with it to thin it out. And it turned out perfect. I was a little concerned when I was spraying it that it wasn't gonna level out, and it did. It's really, really smooth. It's kind of hard to see in this lighting, but it's perfect. We also stained the butcher block for here and here. We need to glue together a butcher block here because this one's gonna be a little wider than your normal butcher block, and then stain that. So that's the goal today. Painting the cabinets is the goal, and then we can hang our wall control back here. The sign came in, I'll show you that. It looks so good. So honestly, like, we may have this done this weekend, this portion of it, which is the biggest portion. So wish us luck. So yeah, this is pretty much done other than needing to add a toe kick on either side here. And then I've had a few people ask me if we had a long piece of wood to cut, how would we do that? Because the saw's here. And this centerpiece here is actually on wheels, as you can see. So we can pull that out and then cut. And then also the saw isn't attached. So if we're like, you know, doing projects that aren't at our house and we're doing friends projects or whatever, we can always take that with us.